Hey guys, JV here, back again with more Battlefront 2 news. Yesterday, the development team at DICE held an Ask Me Anything on the Star Wars Battlefront subreddit. Many believe the team would end it soon after it began because by all accounts it was supposed to be a messy affair. However, there are a decent amount of questions answered that address some of the things that people are worried about with the game, so I wanted to gather a few high points to share with you in this video. If you want to check out the full thing for yourselves, link is in the description below. Let's start with a question answered by executive producer John Wasilczyk, I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, when asked about the 4,500 hours estimate to unlock everything and about the credit limits on arcade mode. He said, "We've seen the speculation about how long it takes players to earn things, but our averages based on the Play First trial are much faster than what's out there. But as more players come in, that could change. We're committed to making progression a fun experience for all of our players. Nothing should feel unattainable, and if it does, we'll do what it takes to make sure it's both fun and achievable. As we update and expand arcade mode, we'll be working towards making sure that players can continue to progress without daily limits." So essentially, they don't see any correlation with those numbers internally, and a lot of people have come out since that was posted to say that those estimates seem a bit exaggerated. Even so, regardless of the time it takes, I think many believe that progression does feel unattainable. That's an issue. Whether it actually is or not, that's an issue DICE needs to address. As for arcade, the daily limit should absolutely not be there, and the answer given really doesn't convince me. We don't have a concrete, yes, it will be fixed, this will happen, so we're definitely waiting for that. The next few are from design director Dennis Branval. He worked as lead designer for the post-launch content of Battlefront 1. When asked why there isn't more cosmetic items in crates instead of items that affect gameplay, he said, "Nothing is too late. As you've noticed, we weren't able to get the customization system into the game in time for launch. I'm actually having artists and designers walk up to me today to show me cosmetic stuff they really want to get out there. I think we have probably the best looking clone troopers ever made, and I know players really want to customize them. I know I do. I can't really commit to a date just yet, but we're working on stuff and I believe it will change the game tremendously on all levels." The whole not being able to get it into the game for launch is a bit silly to me, considering they were able to get the whole loot crate microtransaction meta into the game. I mean, that's there and that's fully functioning, so not having the cosmetic stuff in there it's not a good excuse to me. However, he does promise that it's not too late to switch up these systems and that more cosmetics are coming at some point. People have been asking for that, and I agree. If they were able to rework loot crates around cosmetics instead of items that give a competitive advantage, that would be a massive change that would make a lot of people happy. But there's a lot of things that need to happen before that. They need to announce that change, and then they need to follow through and actually make it happen. We don't have either of those yet. Next, someone posted saying loot boxes should be removed and only exist to make the game more profitable, suggesting Battlefront 2 feels like a free-to-play mobile game. Dennis said, "I think crates can be a fun addition as long as you don't feel forced to engage with them in order to progress. I feel that's where the issue is with our game right now, and that's where we'll look to solve as quickly as we can. We're looking to add additional ways to progress your favorite character or class while allowing crates to be a fun thing for those who want to engage with them." It's nice to see him admit to at least some of the problems with their current progression. If it truly takes thousands of hours or thousands of dollars to unlock everything, of course players are being steered towards buying crates. Right now, the crates are the focal point of progression. We are at the mercy of RNG with them, so I truly hope this is their priority, as Dennis is suggesting. Next up, someone asked if Galactic Conquest would make a return. Dennis replied by saying, "I played a ton of Galactic Conquest in the old games and I would love to bring it back. If we ever did it, it would have to be large enough and deep enough to belong in a Star Wars game in 2017. But yeah, I'd love to take a stab at delivering that at some point. We'll see." Just like Dennis and so many others, I love the hell out of this mode in the old games. It's pretty clear though through his answer that they have no plans to add it in. Otherwise we'd get a more "I can't speculate on what may or may not happen" kind of answer. That's usually what we get even if they do plan to implement it. He's saying here right now they don't have any plans currently at the moment, so we can only hope and cross our fingers. Personally, I don't think we're gonna see it, especially since he came out and said that. Now we'll look at a few answers from Paul Keslin, multiplayer producer on the game. When asked about the current arcade credit limits and if they would be adjusted, Paul said, "As we want to let players earn credits offline via a more relaxed game mode, we needed to also find a way to make sure it wouldn't be exploited in a way that would impact multiplayer. Because of that, we made the decision to limit the number of credits earned to stop potential abuse. We will be looking at data continually and make adjustments to make things as balanced as possible. As for more arcade, just like every mode in our game, we want to look for ways to expand it moving forward. Unfortunately, at this time, we don't have anything to share right now, but know that we care about offline modes. Personally, I just don't believe this reasoning. Either he's being dishonest or they chose the absolute wrong solution for this problem. They should have had enough data from the open beta and the EA Access trial to match the average credit earnings per hour earned in multiplayer and apply that data to arcade. I understand the intention there, but seriously, it feels like this was a choice designed to steer players towards multiplayer where there are loot boxes where they can make money. This should be near the top of their priorities right now. The final question was how DICE has dealt with Backlash and how they plan to regain trust. Paul responded by saying, "Jumping into this AMA is just one of the ways we want to start to repair the bridge to our players. Lots of people told us that we shouldn't do this, it wasn't going to turn out like we hope it would. That said, we are committed to continuing this dialogue even if we need to face some harsh feedback. We welcome the discussions and criticisms. We're not just here for the praise, although it is nice to hear. And we'll continue to be here and on the forums, talking to our community as we strive to work with you to make a Star Wars game that you enjoy." So pretty standard response here. No specifics are given on how they will repair the backlash. It would have been nice to get an itemized list of changes that they plan to implement that will bring players back into good favor. I will say though that this is exactly what you want to hear from a developer. No matter how scripted it feels, they should be willing to receive any kind of feedback no matter how negative it is. It's a good sign that they're not being defensive about it. It shows that they truly know they have issues that they need to work on. While we got literally zero confirmation that the current progression would be overhauled, they did admit that it is causing issues. But that doesn't really matter if nothing is done about it. Now it's time to hold them accountable and see if DICE will actually change it, or more importantly, whether EA will allow them to. Like I said, right now, the arcade credit needs to be addressed. Those daily limits are ridiculous, as well as the performance-based credit formula. If we're all just grinding away on playtime towards the same goal, there's zero sense of satisfaction if you perform well. Score only accounts for 20% of credit earnings right now, and this is a competitive multiplayer game. DICE needs to reward players who do well as soon as possible. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. In the comment section below, tell me which change you think needs to hit Battlefront 2 as soon as possible. Share your choices in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, remember to hit that like button and subscribe for more commentaries like this. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.